Hi, it's Helen from Heritage Garden Seeds, and today we are going to sow our saffron crocus. So I'll show you what a saffron crocus corm looks like. So there we go. Looks a little bit furry, if you like, quite small, and yeah, they're going to give us delicious saffron threads. And did you know saffron is more expensive than its weight in gold? So a nice little bit of luxury for our autumn vegetable gardens. So you can sow your saffron directly into the ground. So if you want to sow in your garden or at the allotment, you can do that. I'm just going to sow mine at home into these big pots, and then I can just pop outside once those flowers start to open and harvest my lovely saffron threads. Wherever you choose to plant your saffron crocus, please do make sure that the soil is well draining. So I've just got a nice free draining compost in these pots, but obviously if you're planting into the ground, just make sure that the soil is not too heavy. The last thing you want is for the soil to be really boggy and wet, and all that's going to happen is the bulb is going to rot. So do make sure your soil is free draining. Now you want to plant your saffron crocus around 5 to 10 centimetres deep and around 10 centimetres apart. If you are planting into pots, you can obviously go a little bit closer. And you want to make sure that the pointed end is facing up. So as you can see, we've got like the sort of flatter end where the roots come from, and then we've got this sort of pointy end here. So that is going to be at the top. And all we're going to do is push those into the soil around 5 to 10 centimetres deep. And that is it. So it could not be easier. So I'm literally just pushing those into the soil. So it's very much like any other bulb. Probably the easiest thing in the world that you're ever going to grow. And then just make sure that the holes are kind of back filled with the soil. Now, for the first water, we are going to water these well, so that just helps to rehydrate the bulb and kick it into action. But then after that, we don't want to water them too much because we really don't want the bulb to rot, which is why it's important that our soil is nice and free draining. So I'm just going to give that a nice, good drink. So it's the 18th of September now, and you can plant your saffron anytime in September and October. And the flowers will usually appear around 6 to 8 weeks from planting. Each flower is going to produce 3 vivid red stigmas, and these are your saffron threads. So to harvest your saffron threads, as soon as the flowers start to open, you want to get a pair of tweezers and then carefully pick those threads from the flower. And then all you need to do is dry those strands on a piece of clean kitchen roll, put them in a nice warm room, and then once they're dry, you can store them in an airtight container. Once your bulbs have finished flowering, you want to leave the foliage as it is, like with any other bulb, and just allow it to die back naturally. This just helps all of the energy to go back into that corm so that it is ready to flower again next year. Now you can leave your saffron corms in the ground or in their pots as long as the soil is not too heavy, and then they will hopefully multiply by next year and bring you more amazing flowers next autumn. If the soil is heavy though, or very clay-like, just really wet kind of soil, you'll know if you have that. You do want to lift those corms up once all of the foliage has died back. Dry them out and keep them somewhere dry until next autumn when you can replant. So as you can imagine, saffron is a really, really exciting thing to grow. It's a really expensive spice to buy in the supermarket. So this is not only going to bring some lovely autumn colour to your gardens, it is also going to bring some delicious flavour to your meals. So it is like the perfect edible flower. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to reach out to me. The best place is always on Instagram. We are at Heritage Garden Seeds, or you can drop me an email. The email address is hello@heritagegardenseeds.com.